Hey guys, Matt from Printavo. Today we're going to talk about white ink. So a couple things to note with white ink is a lot of shops are going to ask, well, why can't I have one white ink and use them on all? Well, each white ink is going to have different characteristics and different properties to go onto the correct substrate. So let's go through the rundown a little bit on what those white inks are and what they're best used for. First up, cotton white. Cotton white's going to be perfect for standard cotton t-shirts. Cotton t-shirts are going to tend to have a lot of fibers sticking up, a lot like this one. You can kind of see a lot of those fibers sticking up. It's going to have really good matting characteristics to help mat those down and hold them down. Now, it's going to work great on low mesh and high mesh, everything in between. It's going to have the lowest amount of dye blocking properties. So it's not going to help prevent dye migration. That's why it's cotton white. Next, I want to talk about low bleed white. Low bleed white's gonna be perfect for shirts like this. This is a nice heathered shirt. A good note is that if you ever see a heather shirt, it's gonna have a blend of a couple things. In most cases, it's going to be a dual blend or a tri-blend and have some nylon or some polyester with some cotton in there. So this is a nice heathered shirt. For this, we'd want to use a low bleed. It's gonna be slightly more expensive than the cotton white, but it's going to have some basic low amount of dye blocking properties to help prevent that dye migration from causing that ink color to shift. It's gonna work great on low mesh, medium mesh, and high mesh as well. A little more expensive than the cotton white, but works great for the correct substrate. Next up, poly. We all love printing on red polyester shirts. None of us have ever had a problem where the ink turns pink when putting on white, right? Yeah, we do, and it's almost always because we're not using the correct ink. So again, poly white is going to work best for your polyester goods. We don't have to worry about encapsulating those fibers sticking up because it's very smooth already. We need to make sure we've got some stretchability, and we want to have high dye blocking properties. That's where the poly white's going to come in. It's going to have the highest of the whites when it comes to dye blockers. Now, to make it perfect, you're still going to want to use some sort of a blocker, a barrier base underneath, but a poly white is going to be more expensive than the cotton and low bleed, but it's going to work the best when it comes to printing on something like this. Next, we're going to talk about nylon. So nylon jackets, something that a lot of shops see a lot of, like this Coach's jacket. We know that distinct nylon sound and feel. This is a very smooth surface. It's gonna be hard for a lot of basic inks to want to actually grip onto it. Oftentimes they'll start to peel off or scratch off. So you can use things like nylon additives into your white inks, or you can also get a nylon white. That's going to have a little bit of a grit to it, so it's going to grip to the actual shirt itself or the jacket. So it's kind of chemically bonding to the nylon to help hold it there. It's got some basic dye blocking characteristics as well. Again, for it to be perfect, we would always recommend use a barrier base once again. But that's going to be what you're going to want to use when dealing with nylon. So now that you know the different use cases of what the white inks are for, as well as where they go in price, cotton being the cheapest, and then poly and nylon usually being the most expensive, you can then order the correct amount for what your shop's going to need. Hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Let us know what white inks you like to use and how you like to use them, and be sure to follow for more videos. Thanks. Bye.